Now over to the next speaker, Dr. Sanjiiv Relhan, Chairman, Preventive Wear Manufacturers Association of India. Dr. Sanjiiv is the Chief Executive Officer of Shalex Overseas and has an extensive experience of over 20 years of working within the healthcare industry across different verticals, including pharmaceutical and surgical products. He is the chair of technical committee of HEALTEXPRO scheme, and he is an expert in technical textiles for infection control. Today, he is here to tell about the technical criteria of HEALTEXPRO scheme. Over to you, Dr. Sanjiiv, sir.
Hi, good afternoon. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me allow to share the screen. I'll just open the technical document meanwhile. Is it visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, welcome all towards this wonderful session of Healthcare Textile Processing Facility Certification Scheme. Thanks, Kaho, for organizing this program of awareness, and thanks Anil Jori sir, AMTZ, Karthik ji, Satendra ji for this document preparation. So I'll straightforward come to the point of technical document. So as we have already understood that concern is rising about the risk of spreading infections from healthcare workers' garments, which are also known as hospital linen commonly, if they are not washed under a monitored environment. I think which all of us can understand that at present the scenario is not like this, that we would, because we don't have any rules and standards to check. So we cannot be sure that the garments are washed under monitored environment. So this scheme is basically covering all the aspects, not only the washing and laundry, but the effective shelf life of the product also. I'll just start briefing the objective. The aim of the scheme is to provide optimum performance levels in the processing of multiple use healthcare textiles. The concepts incorporated in the scheme shall be flexible and dynamic. The scheme is intended to provide mandatory requirements for the processing facilities that will help material managers, laundry managers, central service managers, and other healthcare professionals implement effective quality assurance systems for processing of multiple use healthcare textiles. So this scheme will actually provide mandatory requirement for the proper handling, processing, and preparation of multiple use healthcare textiles, which can be on-site, off-site, third-party operated, or in any combination thereof. This scheme will apply to multiple use healthcare textile processing services of healthcare facilities, contracted processor, repacking operations, or also about the sterile pack lease rental operation and servicing healthcare facilities. The scheme will address these following main criteria. First is design criteria for functional work areas, which involve receiving, staging, and handling of soiled healthcare textiles, the separation of soiled and green textiles, the laundering of multiple use healthcare textiles, the inspection and preparation of clean bulk items and healthcare textile packs, staff qualifications, education, training, dress codes, and other personal considerations, transporting, receiving, and handling of newly purchased and used healthcare textiles, laundry processing, which includes loading, washing, drying, inspection, testing, and maintenance of laundered healthcare textiles, preparation and packaging of laundered healthcare textiles, handling, transport, and storage of laundered healthcare textiles, installation, operation, care, and maintenance of laundry equipment. This scheme will also address quality control measures, procedures, and practices, regulatory considerations, if any, the application of any sterilization technology or sterility assurance practices, performance standards for multiple use healthcare textiles. This scheme will not address the following: design of construction criteria of equipment used to process multiple use healthcare textiles. That means the scheme is not intended to comment upon the design and construction of your OT gowns, patient wear, bed sheets. Selection of multiple use healthcare textiles as per risk associated. We have not come up with any idea that what class of protection level shall be used for what surgical procedure or what procedure, and healthcare textiles labeled for single use. I hope all of you have downloaded the document from AMTZ website. All the technical documents and certification documents are available on AMTZ website. I will request moderator to share the link once again so that people who don't have the copy of these documents, they can download it. There we have an annexure where we have defined all the definitions which are commonly used in the area. So I'll just quickly explain about, because half an hour is too lesser time to explain you the scheme properly, word by word, but I'll try to explain what are the core areas. So like in scheme, we have defined what are the laundry areas, what are the receiving areas, soil sort areas, sorting, what is pre-treatment, washing area, extraction area, conditioning area, drying area, ironing area, folding area, clean textile storage area, inventory storage area, medical surgical pack area, where we will have a mending area also, where we need to repair the products which are torn or which have some holes or something like that. Then barrier testing area, sterilization and disinfection area, quarantine area, sterile storage area, and then we have provided the various parameters which are required for these areas. Like for sterile storage area, we have suggested to have controlled access, positive pressure environment, clean and dry environment, proper storage containers, and regular monitoring. Other important areas will be personal support areas, which include rest area, food and water services, sanitation facilities, communication facilities, medical support, counseling services, conferences areas, administrative area, housekeeping storage area, consumable storage area, chemical storage area, boiler room. And then we have touched upon design criteria for work areas, which will be an integral part for people, for persons or entities who want to operate a healthcare textile processing facility. And all these things will depend, all these factors shall be considered while designing the area, whether the healthcare textile processing unit will be in-house facility or an outside offsite facility, whether the facility will only process healthcare textiles or other general use textiles as well, whether the facility will inspect and maintain the healthcare textiles in-house or transport them to an offsite facility, whether the facility will provide mending alteration services in-house or transport them to an offsite facility, whether the facility will do the pack assembly in-house or not, whether the facility will carry on sterilization and disinfection process, whether the facility owns the healthcare textiles to be processed, whether the facility will store new or uncirculated healthcare textiles, whether the facility will deploy recycling water process, what type of laundry system, sterilization, disinfection equipment, mending, alteration, machinery, etc. will be needed to process the anticipated volume. Then we have defined the workflow patterns. For laundry area, we have defined it properly. What kind of workflow we shall design, including layout, equipment placement, storage, lighting, ergonomics, then containment, disinfection, and then standard operating procedures. So same with medical surgical pack area. If you can see, I can just stop anywhere and tell you how deep we have tried to explain so that it makes easier for you to understand the scheme and how to do the implementation. Like in movement management, we have defined effective movement management is critical to ensure that healthcare linen is processed quickly and efficiently, and that the processing operations are able to meet demand while minimizing delays and errors. Some strategy for effective movement management in laundry may include designing the layout of the laundry facility to minimize the distance that laundry items need to travel, using conveyor belts, assigning worker-specific tasks and responsibilities within laundry, implementing tracking systems. So this is the way we have defined the minutest things required in the process of reprocessing of healthcare textiles. Following are the infrastructure requirements of various areas for processing of soiled healthcare textile, various areas. Laundry area, here we have defined the space requirement, mechanical system requirements, construction requirements. Like the construction requirement for the facility shall depend on the size and type of laundry operation. Here are some important instructions for building, floor, wall, ceiling, and vents. The building shall be designed and constructed to accommodate the facilities, equipment, and workflow with adequate space and clearances for the machinery and workers. Air circulation, thermal and moisture control, lighting setup is also defined to the value of lumens. Brightness can be measured in lumens, and brightness shall be between 100 to 200 lumens. The color temperature of the lighting system should be chosen carefully. A color temperature of 5000 to 6500 Kelvin is must, as it provides a natural bright light that helps to distinguish colors accurately. And this is required if we want to check about the presence of some foreign debris on the laundered textiles. Proper lighting plays a very big role. Hand hygiene stations are a must. So we have defined what the hand hygiene stations shall be designed keeping in mind about the risk factors. Then shower and eye wash stations, because all the laundries will be dealing with the chemicals and other processes. So we need to have emergency eye wash station ready always. Soil sort area. Then chemical storage area is also defined. Clean healthcare textile storage is well defined. Housekeeping. And then we move on to medical surgical packing assembly area. So here, while computing space requirements for an healthcare textile, this is a core part of the whole healthcare processing, healthcare textile processing, because here only we will be doing the inspection also for any cuts and wears and tears, and then assembling them into the packs or single items. Then mechanical requirements of the packaging area. Construction requirements of the packing area. Air circulation, air filtration systems such as HEPA filter shall be installed to remove contaminants from the air and maintain a high level of indoor air quality. Thermal and moisture control. Lighting setup, again here is also required. Hand hygiene stations. Then we move on to sterilization disinfection area. Equipment also we have tried to define but not limit. The scheme is designed in a way where we are not suggesting what brand or what type of equipment is required, but we have tried to explain that minimum requirement shall be met with the equipment which you are going to buy for processing. Then we have defined this documentation part also, because documentation will play a critical role in equipment for the laundry process. So what documentation is required for your equipment specification, installation, operation instructions, maintenance and cleaning procedure, troubleshooting guide, warranty information, safety information. So all these are basically checklists for laundry units or the healthcare textile processing units, which will help them in coming up with a facility which can easily fulfill the requirements of the scheme. Documentation consists of manuals also of all the equipment, then maintenance instructions, operating tapes, installation. Again, we have tried to define. We were able to come up with these specifications and suggestions because we have two experts from the domain, one Mr. Vivek Kulkarni and one Mr. Akash, who will be the next in explaining the commercial and technical problems which this scheme will address to. This is one important aspect which is covered here: water and steam quality. Water shall meet the criteria of purified water as defined by the recognized national. Because when we talk about the barrier efficacy or effective shelf life of a reusable healthcare garment, the water quality and chemical quality play a very big role. Because the kind of coating or the fabric blend might not work effectively with certain kind of water. If the pH level is very high or pH level is very low, they can affect the coating. So we have tried to define this also here. Electricity, gas, all these are related to operations and mechanical system, chemical delivery system, water softeners. I'll just jump to the technical part, which shall be discussed in details, which will be helpful for the users. How to test the efficacy? That is the main question, and that is how the scheme will address that part. I'll just jump to. Just give me a minute. here from the corner. Karthik, can you please help me with the page number
Yes, sir. What do you
for
want, sir?
testing criteria?
Just a minute, sir. So page number 96, sir.
Yes. Yeah. So from here, we'll talk about what is made mandatory here. Documented quality assurance program shall be prepared. In addition, the program shall include procedures for maintaining the integrity of the product during storage and handling. During development of the quality control program, the manufacturer's recommendation shall be taken into the account. Manufacturer recommendation may include specific inspection procedures, recommended inspection frequencies, and guidelines for interpreting inspection result. So all these things will basically help in making sure that the reusable garments are laundered and processed as per manufacturer's guidelines. And then these are the point which will be very helpful for users to understand the scheme. Functional requirements, which includes barrier efficacy. And here we have tried to provide you the testing methods for barrier efficacy also. Tracking monitoring, which is integral part of checking how much wash cycles the product has been through and what was the maximum number suggested by the manufacturer for the maximum usage. Mending and repair policy, quality analysis. Quality analysis will consist of quality process, problem analysis, and compliance to various regulatory requirements also. Inspection will include visual inspection for stains, discoloration, damage or tears, missing or broken components, integrity of seams and stitching, foreign debris, chemical damage, thermal damage, and then also proper labeling, because labeling ensures that you are getting the right product and also help in tracing the problem if there was any. Like foreign debris also, it is defined that sticky surface tape or adhesive lint rollers can be used to remove loose debris such as fibers, hair, or lint from the surface of healthcare textile products. The tape or roller is simply rolled over the surface of the product to pick up any debris. Delinting rollers, also known as fabric shivers, can be used to remove more stubborn debris such as pills or knots from the surface of the fabric. The roller has a rotating head with a blade that gently shaves the surface of the fabric to remove any debris. Then we have to inspect for chemical and thermal damage. Then product labeling is very clearly defined in the scheme, how it has to be labeled. Tracking is something where we have suggested using RFID, grid, barcode, QR code, or other suitable devices by which we will be able to identify and track healthcare textile products throughout their effective life, and which can be used to ensure that the products are properly cleaned, sterilized, and maintained. Testing of products. you can download the Annexure C, which is table of all the applicable standards and test methods related to healthcare textiles. So for barrier efficacy, what we have to check is microbial testing, physical properties testing, performance testing, and flame resistance testing, chemical testing, color fastness, environmental testing. Then we have tried to define the microbial testing also. What kind of test methods are required, and these tests are to be done by the hospital and by the laundry as agreed between two parties. Because if we are outsourcing our products to a third party laundry, it is the duty of third party laundry, as per current regulatory framework, for at least for surgical gowns, to make sure that the products meet the effective life cycle, and throughout the life cycle they comply with the requirement of Indian standards. For bed sheets, patient uniforms, which are non-medical devices, testing can be done at a, we can come up with a parametric release kind of thing, where we can assure that the products are regularly tested to ensure that the process is being conducted as per regulatory and standard requirements. Physical properties include tensile strength, abrasion resistance, spilling resistance, tear strength, seam strength, dimensional stability, durability, drapability, thermal stability, and finally performance testing, which is about the barrier efficacy, which is a cause of concern for all the healthcare workers using surgical gowns and surgical drapes. So this barrier efficacy will include blood-borne pathogen test, synthetic blood penetration test, viral barrier test, dry microbial penetration test, wet microbial penetration test, and now fluid repellency, which plays a very big role even in bed sheets and patient wears and scrub suit, will consist of hydrostatic pressure test, spray impact test, impact penetration test. So once you download this document and you try to understand, this will help you understanding this scheme also, and finalizing the textiles you buy, healthcare textiles you buy. Because when you download a standard, you don't understand that what fluid repellency is, and what hydrostatic pressure test is, and what spray impact test is, and how to be sure that which test actually tells you about what criteria of the barrier efficacy. Breathability also plays a very big role. So breathability can also be tested. Flame resistant testing, when we are going for gowns or drapes or scrub suit, which are required to be flame resistant. And then these are chemical testing, which we normally do at hospitals also. Formaldehyde content test, skin irritation and sensation test. This is something which standard also says that it has to be done once in 5 to 10 years, till the time you don't change your fabric or detergent. Color fastness, washing, light fastness test, rubbing test, all these tests actually define the effective life cycle of your garment. Environmental impact testing, this LCA is something which will play a very big role. It is a comprehensive method for evaluating the environmental impact of a product or material throughout its entire life cycle. This includes assessing the impact of raw material extraction, manufacturing, transportation, use, and disposable. Carbon footprint analysis, waste management analysis, all these test methods basically will help us in achieving the sustainability which we are looking for by reducing use of single-use healthcare textiles and by promoting use of multiple-use healthcare textiles. AQL has been defined that what number shall pass the test to make sure that the product is laundered properly and processed properly. Then for laundry operators, we have defined the rewash policy, repair policy, retirement policy. It will play a very big role. Retirement policy, the retirement policy shall identify the circumstances under which a textile product must be retired, such as when it is no longer functional or when it has exceeded the maximum number of rewashes. Alternate use policy is something which was much needed. So we had a good deliberation and came up with this idea. The alternate use policy will help you defining if we can say a gown was designed for level 4, but it is not effective for level 4, but can be worked in for level 3, or maybe a bed sheet which was torn, but which can be now converted to a pillow cover. So that will also help us in the sustainability. And then patching, mending, and everything is well defined here. I think we are just at the end of the document. Then here is a rewashing also defined in case during inspection we find that there are some stains and we are sure that those stains are not going to affect the safety of patient and healthcare worker, we can send it to rewash also. Revitalization, wherein the fabric itself is good and the coating is not perfect after a few washes, so we can plan about the recoating of the fabric. Alternate use or discarding, that we have already discussed. Packaging is well defined. Packing procedures are also defined. Folding plays a very important role in healthcare textiles. It shall be aseptically folded, so everything is well defined here. Like between hospital and laundry, we have tried to come up with this idea also. The using department may have specific preferences or requirements for the folding method based on their experience and expertise in using the items in the surgical environment. For example, they may prefer a certain type of fold that makes it easier to don the item aseptically, or that minimizes the risk of contamination during use. On the other hand, the processing facility may have specific requirements for the folding method based on the sterilization and packing equipment and procedure used. So basically all these folding methods and packing methods we have not standardized in the scheme, but they shall be well designed in advance in consultation with manufacturer, the laundry, and the user. Then assembling also in a similar way is well defined here. Labeling shall include lot number, installation method and date, expiration date, storage instructions. And in the end, we have discussed about disinfection and safe transportation. Disinfection we have defined, and sterilization also, what kind of sterilization shall be taken care. Handling and transportation. Minimize microbial contamination, ensure suitability for use. Separation of clean and sterile soiled items, adequate ventilation, security, cart cleaning, staff training, cart loading, segregation, labeling, loading order, loading process. So we have tried to define even the truck cleaning and loading so that nothing is left for imagination. Storage includes the bulk textile storage, folded item storage, packed item storage, and then how to shelve the products. The rotation facility, which all of us understand, and finally we have given a note about regulatory consideration, because some of the items might be under a regulatory regime already. So it is the duty of the laundry operator to check what regulatory compliances they have to meet. I think we shall stop sharing.